under the dim, fluorescent glow of the Beijing Union Medical Hospital. Silence filled the corridor as the door to the forensic ward slowly creaked open. The faint hum of medical machines was the only sound until the heavy boots of investigators echoed against the sterile tiles. Menglong, the beloved actor known for his gentle smile and calm demeanor, lay motionless beneath a white sheet. When the covering was lifted, even the most experienced officers turned pale. His arms, back, and torso were covered in bruises, some faint yellow, others dark purple, more than 30 in total. The lead investigator, Captain Li Zhenhe of the Beijing Criminal Investigation Bureau, BCIB, was the first to speak. His voice trembled as he muttered, "These are not random. This is control. Repetition. Force." Within hours, the Bureau's Forensic Evidence Division had been sealed off from the press. The Ministry of Culture demanded an immediate briefing, fearing a national scandal. Menglong was not just an actor, he was an image of modern Chinese youth. A symbol of diligence and charm. The news that his body bore the marks of possible violence threatened to shatter that image entirely. Yet behind the walls of the hospital, her story was beginning to take shape. Captain Li had seen hundreds of cases in his 20-year career. But something about this one felt deliberately concealed. "We received no prior medical reports. No signs of self-harm. No witnesses," he told his team. Yet these injuries show a pattern, a frequency that suggests he was restrained. Perhaps repeatedly. The initial hospital report from Peking Union Medical College Hospital confirmed 31 bruises in total. The analysis indicated varying stages of healing, some less than 24 hours old, others nearly a week. Several marks around the wrists bore linear indentations, consistent with tight bindings. Under microscopic examination, the muscle tissue showed pressure-related microtears, something that could only occur through sustained physical force. By dawn, word had leaked online. Anonymous sources within the hospital posted fragments of the report. The internet erupted. Hashtags like "What happened to Menglong" and "Protect the Truth" trended within hours. Fans flooded social media with disbelief, anger, and sorrow. "He was a light," one post read. "If this is true, someone must pay." Outside the hospital, Menglong's mother, Lifan, arrived wrapped in a black coat, her face pale and trembling. Reporters swarmed around her, shouting questions she could not answer. They said he was overseas filming, she sobbed. "But look at him now, what did they do to my son?" Her trembling hands clutched a small jade pendant, one she said you had worn since childhood. "He called me 2 days ago," she whispered to red carpet revealed reporter, tears welling up. "He sounded frightened. He said, 'If something happens, don't believe what they say.' I thought he was just exhausted. I never imagined this." Her nephew, Chen Rui, was the next to speak. He told investigators that you had complained of being followed. He said someone from his company was watching him even off-set. "I told him to take a break, maybe travel. Now I can't stop thinking, was he trying to escape?" The last 72 hours of Menglong's life before the discovery became the focus of the BCIB's reconstruction. On October 2nd, he was seen entering a private meeting at his management company, Vision Studio, located in Chaoyang District. The meeting, according to internal logs, lasted 3 hours. No one has yet disclosed what was discussed. On October 3rd, he was reportedly unreachable for 10 consecutive hours. Calls from friends went unanswered. Messages marked as read were never replied to. On October 4th, his assistant, alarmed by his silence, filed a missing persons report at the local police station. The next day, Yu was found unconscious in his apartment, the doors locked from the inside. Neighbors later told reporters that strange noises had been heard from his apartment that night. "We heard shouting. Something breaking," said one resident, an elderly man from the unit below. "It wasn't the first time we heard arguments from there. But this time it felt different." Police records confirmed the noise complaint but noted that no officer had been dispatched due to insufficient cause. Inside the apartment, the crime scene investigators discovered fragments of broken porcelain, overturned furniture, and faint traces of blood near the bedroom door. The bruising patterns on his body aligned suspiciously with objects found in the room: a broken belt, a metal lamp base, and a snapped camera tripod. Forensic reconstruction suggested that the injuries could not have been self-inflicted. It's impossible to reach those areas on one's back with such precision. Named one forensic expert under anonymity. The pressure angle, it indicates another person's involvement. By midday, Dream Vision Studio released a brief statement claiming that Yu Menglong had suffered a sudden medical collapse due to exhaustion and that rumors of violence were unverified and disrespectful. The public backlash was immediate. Thousands of comments accused the agency of hiding the truth. Many recalled that other Dream Vision artists had previously vanished from the spotlight under vague explanations of health issues. The company's silence only deepened suspicion. Meanwhile, the BCIB continued to comb through Yu's personal devices. His last messages to close friends were brief and cryptic. Read, "They won't let me go." Another simply said, "If I disappear, remember the initials DV." Investigators initially dismissed it as emotional distress from work pressure, until they realized DV might refer to Dream Vision. Captain Lee, reading those messages in the flickering light of the evidence room, felt the first stirrings of dread. "This isn't just a domestic dispute," he told his deputy quietly. "Someone powerful is trying to erase him." The deputy nodded. And they almost succeeded. Later that evening, Yu's medical examiner called Lee back to the hospital. "You need to see this," she said. When he arrived, he pointed to a high-resolution image of one bruise. Killer and unusually distinct. The pattern resembled the outline of a metallic ring, possibly part of a restraint device. "The mark is uniform. As if from a band," she explained. "Whatever caused it wasn't random. It's systematic." Evening fell over Beijing. Captain Lee stood by the window overlooking the city. In the distance, neon lights flickered, indifferent to the storm brewing beneath them. To his team, "Seal everything. From this moment. Treat this as a criminal investigation." Outside, in the cold autumn air, his mother clutched her son's photo and whispered a promise, "I will not let them bury you in silence." But silence was precisely what powerful forces demanded. Carpet revealed has learned that. As the investigation deepened, communication lines began to fail, witnesses withdrew. Files vanished from police servers. Hospital technician who leaked the initial report suddenly took leave for personal reasons. The deeper the investigators dug, clearer it became, someone did not want the truth to surface. And yet, one truth was already undeniable. Marks on Yu Menglong's body were real. They told a story of pain, resistance, and fear. But whose hands had left them, and why? Tin Lee glanced again at the photo of that single circular bruise. Its shape was too precise, too deliberate. In his report, he wrote just one sentence: "Possible use of restraint, further inquiry necessary." The case that began with a faint whisper of concern was now a storm roaring through China's entertainment world. This was only the beginning. 3 days after the shocking discovery of Yu Menglong's injuries, the hospital room where he had once lain became a shrine of silence. Fans gathered outside, holding candles and photographs, their faces wet with tears. Across social media, "Justice for Yu Menglong" had crossed 20 million mentions within 48 hours. Yet amid the storm of public emotion, official statements remained scarce. Dream Vision Studios' press office repeated its denial, "There is no evidence of foul play." But behind the closed doors of Beijing's Criminal Investigation Bureau, the truth was beginning to take form, dark, lurid, and dangerous. Captain Lee's Henho hadn't slept in days. The pressure was mounting from both above and below. The ministry demanded progress, the media demanded answers. But the deeper his team searched, the more resistance they encountered. Files disappeared from the internal database. Witnesses who had agreed to testify suddenly changed their minds. One hospital technician who had uploaded Yu's first injury images resigned the next morning and vanished. Lee began to sense that he was being watched. At home, Yu Menglong's family gathered for the first time since the scandal broke. His mother, Yu Lifan, sat in her son's empty room, surrounded by film posters and neatly folded costumes. "Told me not to talk," she said softly to a visiting reporter from Red Carpet Revealed. "Said if I love my son, I should let the professionals handle it." But how can a mother stay silent when her child's body is covered in bruises? Her voice trembled. "He called me before all this happened. He said, 'Mom, believe them if they say I ran away.' I didn't understand what he meant, until now." Her nephew, Chen Rui, revealed that he had gone to Yu's apartment the day before the discovery but was stopped by security guards who claimed routine maintenance. "When I went back after the news broke, Security cameras had been removed, he said. The wires were gone. Who does that unless they have something to hide? The BCIB confirmed that the building's surveillance footage from October 3, the critical night, was irretrievably lost. An internal memo obtained by Red Carpet revealed showed that the deletion occurred exactly 4 hours before the first emergency call from Yu's assistant. When Captain Lee requested a backup from the city's central monitoring system, the answer came back curt: technical error. No data available. Dream Vision Studio, Yu's management company, under increasing scrutiny. Once seen as the crown jewel of China's entertainment industry, it now stood accused of silence, exploitation, and cover-up. Former staff began contacting journalists anonymously, describing an environment of fear and control. Ex-assistant confessed in a disguised voice, artists who disobey orders get isolated. They're told to reflect. Sometimes they come back quieter. Sometimes they never come back at all. Red Carpet revealed obtained a leaked internal contract between Menglong and Dream Vision Studio. It contained a clause labeled disciplinary compliance, granting the company the right to implement behavioral correctional measures in cases of breach. Legal experts called it unprecedented and likely illegal. It is not a management clause, it's a weapon. One entertainment lawyer. It allows coercion under the guise of discipline. October 9, the Beijing Criminal Investigation Bureau received a flash drive delivered anonymously to Captain Lee's office. Inside were encrypted files labeled DV SOP number 14. When decrypted, the documents revealed chilling details: an internal Dream Vision procedure describing physical compliance sessions for artists demonstrating repeated non-cooperation. Among the attached photographs were time-stamped images of a dimly lit studio room with leather restraints and soundproof walls. The metadata placed the photos within Dream Vision's headquarters. The resemblance between the restraint marks in the photos and the bruises on Menglong's wrists was undeniable. Captain Lee's report noted, pattern consistency confirmed between photographic evidence and subject's injuries. Strong likelihood of direct correlation. As investigators prepared to summon Dream Vision executives for questioning, they were met with an abrupt order from higher authorities: pause public proceedings pending review. Lee refused. That night, he received an unmarked envelope slipped under his door. Inside was a photograph of his daughter leaving school, and a note: some stories are better left untold. Meanwhile, Yu's family decided to go public. His younger sister, Yu Zinai, held a press conference in tears. My brother was kind, patient, and gentle, she said. He was not depressed. Was not violent. He was terrified, her voice broke. They tried to make him disappear quietly. We won't let that happen. Within hours, Dream Vision's legal team released a statement condemning false allegations and irresponsible journalism, lawsuits against individuals spreading malicious speculation. But the momentum was unstoppable. Anonymous insiders began leaking more evidence, email threads suggesting coordination between Dream Vision executives and certain local law enforcement officers to suppress the case. One email bore the subject line, Containment Priority, YML Situation. And then came the name that would change everything, Mr. K. According to multiple whistleblowers, Mr. was the silent financier behind Dream Vision, and with deep ties to government, media regulators and private security firms. His real name never appeared in public records, but several financial statements linked him to overseas accounts connected to the studio's shell companies. One former accountant claimed that Mr. K personally approved all disciplinary measures for non-compliant artists. He believed fear was the best management tool, the source said. He called it loyalty training. A red carpet revealed Doug. The clearer the network became: Dream Vision executives, media connections, police sympathizers. A chain of offshore transfers designed to hide accountability. Captain Lee's team tried to follow the money trail. Warrant requests were repeatedly delayed. Someone is protecting him, Lee said grimly. Someone powerful. A week later, an international leak exposed fragments of the BCIB's confidential file. The photographs, showing Yu's bruises in forensic clarity, spread across the internet before being deleted. Screenshots remained. Global outlets picked up the story: BBC Asia, Reuters, and the Washington Post all ran features on the silencing of Menglong. The Chinese online community went into overdrive. Public mourning turned into outrage. Fans organized vigils outside Dream Vision's headquarters in Beijing and Seoul, holding banners reading "You can't silence the truth." Pressure, the Ministry of Culture announced a comprehensive review of artist management regulations. But privately, sources confirmed that Captain Lee had been reassigned to a different department. It's what happens when you dig too deep. One of his colleagues quietly. For Yu's family, the nightmare continued. Late one evening, Yu's mother received another call. A distorted voice warned. If you love him, stop. She dropped the phone and wept. But the next morning, she appeared on live television with trembling hands, holding a photo of her son. He told me to stay silent, she said. But silence is what killed him. Her courage reignited the movement. Crowdfunding campaign raised funds for international legal counsel. The family hired a law firm based in London specializing in human rights cases. Their statement read, "We will pursue justice through every lawful means available, across every border." Behind the scenes, Red Carpet revealed obtained one final piece of evidence, a security report from Dream Vision's internal server. It showed a record of access logs on October 3, 10:43 p.m., the same time Yu was believed to have been attacked. The user who logged in used an admin ID registered under K-level executive access. The entry was manually deleted the following day. A apartment far from the city. Captain Lee read the report one last time before locking it in a drawer. "This isn't over," he whispered. "Even if they bury the truth, bruises will speak." Weeks later, candles flickered across the streets of Beijing, Shanghai, and Seoul. Fans gathered in silence, holding signs that read, "We see you, Yu Menglong." His mother stood among them, red but unbroken. They took his voice. He said softly to the crowd, "But they cannot take what he left behind, the truth." The world would soon learn that fame in the entertainment industry was not always gilded with glory. Beneath the bright lights lay the shadows of coercion, fear, and control. And at the center of it all was one man who dared to resist. Final report circulated among international investigators. One line from Captain Lee's closing statement stood out. He fought until his last breath. And his silence speaks louder than the power. In the end, the truth was not buried. It was branded into history, written across every bruise, whispered through every tear, and carried by every fan who refused to forget.